So, recording is started. Welcome, everyone. I see that we have the pretty diverse audience today. I was already mentioning that the whole lecture was designed as a second lecture for the university students. Please give me back my control and don't touch my presentation. So, uh, for university students to understand the topics related to the decentralized technologies and to blockchain. In the first lecture, we have covered the topic of the tokenization and cryptocurrency and a whole meaning of the digital money and decentralized systems. And on this lecture, we are going to cover topics of third generation of internet, so-called Web3, and speak about NFT and slightly touch the metaverse option. As that's the student lecture, we will repeat a little bit what were on the previous one. And here we were speaking about the cryptocurrencies, which are digital money, and very short summary where we said that the money can be issued not only by the state, by some other diverse organizations, and it can be actually any organization, any community, any autonomous organization. So the money, like traditional money, are always issued by the state. And digital money can be issued in a cryptocurrency, can be issued by the startup, by any entity. And also they do not have borders. Also, like the normal money, fiat money you used to have, they normally have geographical borders and have to use official conversion rules and measures. With the digital money, that's different. And basically, the important quality of the decentralized financial systems is that transactions are atomic and irreversible. And there are a lot of different cryptocurrencies with the different qualities already established in this world. And that's basically the short summary of what was said on a previous lecture. And currently we are covering the new topic, and we are going to speak about the evolution of internet. And basically, I couldn't say now because we have not only students that you guys young and you probably haven't seen the first version of internet, but here we have enough people who saw that and who know that the first internet, how we learned to use that, how we started to use that, was so-called Internet of Information, where we were fascinated about the possibility actually to communicate over the network, to send information over the network, to display information over the network. And every time we were doing those communications, we were sending the copies. Remember, emails, copies of the text, sending documents, sending pictures. This all were distribution of the copies of the documents of different types. And we were basically sharing information always. But internet developed like any things in the world, like any technical things in the world, appear to be more and more complex. Websites appear to be more and more complex. And sooner or later, we invented, we started slowly to invent social media or content management systems. And important thing, we connected devices to internet. And remember, and here there are some people who can remember this the situation where we realized reading the manuals to our coffee machine or microwave or the fridge or washing machine that it has internet connection. It can be connected and it gets some information over the internet. And by the time when we got the consumer devices connected to internet, all our communication devices, all the phones, all the uh, like TV sets, all the home theaters, all the like many other devices were already connected and already sharing information. And I would say, like, if I would be giving this lecture like 5 years ago or even 3 years ago, I would say that we are in the middle of the area where our internet is Internet of Things, where actually 80% of the traffic in internet, it's not our communication anymore. It's not even information anymore. It's devices talking to each other. And well, you can imagine that it's not only consumer devices. There are also a lot of information where those are the information systems, where those are production systems using internet as a main media of the communication. So our Internet of Information evolved towards the Internet of Things, where devices connected to that. And with the like we were speaking on a previous lecture about the internet of about the digital money. And basically with the rise of blockchain, with the rise of the cryptocurrencies, there was the principal new thing we started to transfer over the internet. And that's money. And previously, when we were speaking about e-currency, about the financial organizations connected to internet, they were sending information about money. They were sending information which account needs to change something. And with the blockchain technology, with the cryptocurrency established in the world, we started actually send the real like money over the internet. And that's started the new generation of the internet things. And we are going to talk about this today and basically look to that from all possible angles, because the financial information to be sent over the internet or finance, like actual money to be sent over the internet, that enables totally new capabilities of the internet. It enables absolutely new things to be able to be like achieved through internet. And let's look to the associated things there and see, because money is not only an angle we can see there. It's like what there's a social part, and I would be progressing towards this right now. First of all, let's look at the traditional internet consumer services. And I guess a lot of you can be like, well, I better hide the left side of the screen and ask you what are the internet services you are consuming. And I'm pretty sure that I will hear from all of you. Social media, file share. We definitely use the internet for authorization and authentication. In some cases, payments, definitely search. Definitely we are looking for the information. Hosting, content hosting, software distribution, also media streaming, audio, music, messaging. Those are already traditional for us consumer internet services. And speaking about the providers of those services, I would say there are not that many of them. Basically, where I think fingers on both hands should be enough to name all the major providers. Like it's not one hand, but a little bit more. And where just out of the curiosity, guys, do you know the typical abbreviation for those guys who are providing us those services? How they're called? Anyone? If somebody is answering and typing that would be difficult. So I would say it aloud. None of you? I will give you some time to answer this question. If not, by the end of the lecture, I will tell you. But there are a lot of jokes about this. So I'm pretty sure that you'd be able to easily, using the internet, find the answer on this question. And actually recently, because of a lot of changing names, because the Google now not a Google but Alphabet and something, the abbreviation, the old abbreviation changed to the new one. So are you still able to see my presentation? Because it showed me that it's not.
Nope. Now it's not visible.
It just disappeared, right?
Yep. Let's try again.
Yeah, give me a sec, because it's, and we have a lot of people who are joining and is joining. Yeah, that's
might be late a little
yeah,
bit.
that's
As usual.
Give me a sec. It's uploading, or I don't know what it's doing. Jesus, I love Teams. I really love that. Should be there in a minute. No, it's stuck. But okay, so the task with you, I'm pretty sure that there are people who can multitask. Listen to me. There is nothing much to look at. So please find an answer to the question I've asked. And I'm moving to the proper slide. As you can see, in a current internet, like initially in the internet, it was like more more peer-to-peer information sent. It's more like server to server to the customers, and it was much more distributed in the nature than currently, where all the majority providers are like main four. And basically, if we are looking like Transcend, it's an Asian provider. Yeah. And in Asia, like Transcend is the biggest social media provider in Asia. And we have also Baidu and Alibaba, who are also big. But yeah, Google, Microsoft, Meta, Apple, Amazon. And it might be interesting for you to look. What are the distribution here? And you can easily see, and by the way, on top of the screen, there is a link where you can see online those statistics. But again, I probably will ask you, and you probably all will know the right answer. Who is the biggest provider of the internet services, like search services? You don't need to look at the graphics. Tell me, who is the biggest search provider? Guys, couldn't be true that you're silent. Google, yes. Who is the biggest, I would say, social media provider?
Facebook.
Meta, yes, yes, yes. And if you will look to those graphics, yeah, search engine, this top blue line is Google. Look where the others, they're not existing. Social media market share, top line, Meta, look to the others, they are not existing. Which means that our internet now, and those are the data from like yesterday, right? And you would be able to see the same. And the same with the browsers, the same with the mobile devices, like what mobile devices slightly better, but still. So you can see that now the internet, which meant to be the biggest decentralized information system, is heavily monopolized, very heavily monopolized. And that's the reality. And also, if we will look, some of you might be thinking, and that's basically probably not the students, but the people who are elder age, how did it happen with our internet? And for those on this slide, there is the bottom link, which actually explains how did it happen over the time. But currently, even like hosting providers, even like the whole information internet, it's not owned anymore by the content providers, like by the content owners, I would say. It's all on a servers, and it's all belongs to those companies who I showed to you in a majority. And they actually define what is allowed in the internet and what is not, and define the gaming rules and defining our services, and also playing a lot with that. And that creates a little bit, I would say, issues. And the problem is that a lot of people are not aware about this. And when I'm asking you of how do you know on which data set your search request in Google is executed, would you be able to answer me this? How do you know that Google is actually searching somewhere? Do you have any evidence? And when you are publishing website, can you control who is able to see your website and who is able to find your website? And do you really believe that you know answer to this question? And you have those 9 questions, and you can slowly read it while I'm speaking. But basically, in the current version of the internet we have, and that's happened not yesterday. That's happened gradually, but we live in this situation for at least 5 years or even more. And every day the situation, I would say, like situation becoming like worse and worse because the multiplication grows. And you do not manage your trace of your data in internet. Even if you are trying to do so, it's impossible. You've seen many situations where, like, you came to the big shop, you were looking at the shelf, then you're going home, you open your Amazon account, and Amazon actually is offering you something you were looking in an offline shop at the shelf. How did it know? Or you are making, like, well, you all know the wonderful situation when you occasionally made a certain search and then your Facebook, your Instagram is full of this advertisement and you don't know how to get rid of this. And sometimes you are receiving some targeted ads or targeted emails. You have no clue where did they find your email. You're basically not in control anymore. And not in control of your customer base, if in any case you are doing business over the internet. Yes, Gennady is absolutely right. And if somebody have seen the wonderful movie, The Enemy of the State, I'm actually urging you, and especially youngsters, to look at that and watch it carefully, because that's the reality. And all these situations have created a movement, have created a desire to change the situation, to have much more democratized and much more free, also from censorship and also from the monopoly version of internet. And therefore, there was the very start of Web3 movement. And that's already quite some time ago when it's happened. And the person behind that was Gavin Wood. And it was his idea. And Gavin Wood is a person number 2 while inventing the Ethereum network. It was Vitalik Buterin and Gavin who started that. And Gavin was doing many other things. Now he is the owner of the and also chief creator of the Polkadot network and the whole idea behind the substrate and the Polkadot and networks of networks and all of this stuff. But he's also behind the Web3 movement and Web3 Foundation. And that has started about 7 years ago. And since that, a lot of things were developed. And basically, currently situation is not that bad, as I explained to you, but still, we are in a period where one generation of internet is slowly changing to another generation. But let's look at this slowly. Basically, motivation behind Web3 movement, motivation behind the idea to have different internet setup was, as I explained to you, like to fight the monopoly of the technical chains, to be much more independent, to be much more free, and to be able to do the free business. Because you couldn't imagine how, like, for example, like YouTube owners, like there are a lot of business in YouTube, and there are a lot of people who are keeping their customer base in a Facebook or in YouTube because, well, they're provisioning services through the YouTube. They're showing videos. Think about all these gamers. Think about all these people who are provisioning like the content and how vulnerable they are to what YouTube does with them. Like just one setting somewhere at the back end of the system, and none of the users can find the video content anymore. Cannot find it in the channel. And the worst thing, they don't even tell you about this. Just one day, you can see in the statistics that, yeah, you don't have the user flow anymore. Everything looks the same for you. It's just nobody can find you and nobody can see you. And none of the links work. And you won't be able to notice that. And in some cases, there are like silent bans. There are like in some cases, you even notify it. But I don't know if there are the people here who tried to move your website or your YouTube channel or your Facebook account out of the ban because it was done in some cases by stupid robot, in some cases deliberately because of your competitors or because somehow you breached a certain non-explained anywhere rules. But yeah, it's almost impossible. It takes time. You lose money and you cannot even complain anywhere. So basically, motivation behind this new movement was to give more freedom to content and business owners, content and business creators. And certainly, like the freedom comes with the ability to have the independent money. And here, the merge in between the internet idea of content provisioning and the connections and the social media and the digital money I explained to you on the previous lesson, cryptocurrency. That's where it took place. So in the core of idea behind Web3, the idea to use cryptocurrency as a money basis for internet future lays. Also, the idea of provisioning decentralized applications, not to be vulnerable to the single place of the contact, is also one of the key cornerstones of the Web3. And the idea to basically to put the user as a key and controlling party of the new internet is also the third cornerstone of the Web3 idea. So the users become more in control on their content, on their data, on their data, like all sorts of the data, I will say, because like the browsing history, like the advertisement, like the users become, they not only can choose who can see the information they provide, they not only have the possibility to be heard, but they also are given the possibility to choose the content they can watch, because that's another problem. Can you get rid of the advertisement which Google puts in your search results? None. Can you manage that? None. And now more than more than a half of the search results shown to you are just stupid ads. So that's the motivation. And that's the realization. Because we already at the times where the basic architectures and a lot of examples are already created, already developed, and even deployed. And in some cases, you even probably consuming services based on a Web3 architecture because it's new technology stack. And it already has a lot of applications on every layer. First of all, we have underlying layer, which are normally the blockchain networks. It's a foundation layer where Ethereum is a leading network, but we have more networks there. We have Near, we have Cardano, we have even Bitcoin, which is much less for the applications, but here too. So we have quite some of the decentralized systems to be a basis of distributing information. And again, there is no monopoly here. And more networks are appearing every day. Which means, because each of this network, it has like the basic coin, which means that even the money which you are using in internet or can use in internet, they are not monopolized. There's fragmentation, there's market fragmentation, and still like the money which are defined on Ethereum network are leading, but at the same time they are more leading because of the technology benefits and not because of the political ones. So you do have quite some of middleware already, and a lot of protocols which are allowing you to define quite some of the things, like you have the Ethereum name system, where you can define the names which are very similar to URLs, but in the Ethereum network. You do have a lot of infrastructure to store the keys and store parameters. You have a lot of tooling to create the content structures and a lot of aids in middleware. You already have quite some of the business services developed over the Web3 infrastructure, and you have tons and tons of the applications. And here we slowly come up to the picture with the generations of the internet. And yes, that's actually corresponding to what I've been saying at the very beginning. First generation of internet, and a lot of people are recognizing those Netscape and Alta Vista, which is migrated to like much more social and much more developed internet, which is called Web3. And that's not only Internet of Things, but it's also social internet. That's the internet of the social connections. And here you can see a lot of toolings and the browsers, how we used to have them recently. And starting the last couple of years, the last 4 years, you see the new applications who are residing already on a Web3 infrastructure. And here we can see quite some of the messaging system, quite some of the social media systems. Yes, and there are people also who have ICQ working, right? But I'm offering you to focus on those which are Web 3.0 and to gradually start to familiarize yourself there. And there are also a lot of like hosting, a lot of the file share systems, and they all are decentralized systems. And they all are based on the decentralized architecture, and they all are either covering the combination of the layers I showed you before, either they are residing on a certain layer, and that depends on what kind of application it is. And if you've been asking me, okay, how mature it is right now? That's a tricky question, because I would say that it's maturing every day. And even now, when we are looking to the market, to the market of like IT services, when we are looking to the market for the system integration, we can see that more and more traditional enterprises started to demand for Web3 services to be built. We now know that like Nike, Prada, all these traditional retailers, all the fashion brands are already players in the Web3 market. We know now that quite some of the traditional OEMs like Boeing, like Volkswagen, like Bosch are also players on the Web3 market. So not only small startups, not only new applications, that's already enterprises started to unwrap this Web3 infrastructure and started to use that. And at the same time, remember the statistics, at the same time, the monopoly is still here. And I believe it will take a lot of time, probably next 10 years, and hopefully we would be able to get rid out of the monopoly. The good thing is that the big giants also started to look at the Web3 infrastructure and to develop Web3 services and to make that a little bit decentralized, because there is a push to use the benefits of the technology change, but they keep the government centralized. And it also can be possible. Like it's also possible. And we do see Google having the significant research in decentralized systems. Very recent, Microsoft started to play there, and also Meta started to look there. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that we would be able to see the fruits, and we need to be alert, look into how actually decentralized are they. There are a lot of already, like, hosting providers who started to look at that, and infrastructure providers who started to offer the decentralized infrastructure services. And if we are looking to the user base, because like what I've been speaking, it's about the provisioning of the services and giving end users the certain decentralized capabilities. What you see on the screen is the look to the customer base, the generic internet customer base. And as you probably can guess, the most, I would say, mobile, the most easy to attract with the new capabilities, with the new, I would say, new features, is the gaming community. And here we do have more than 30 millions of the users who are already consuming for like 4 years the centralized services because there's gaming. Gaming Fortnite, gaming Roblox. There are millions of the NFT users, and not always NFT is used as digital collectibles. There are a lot of variants, like the same Nike user base, and the people are using NFTs for the tokenized loyalty, and that's one of the most common use cases for the enterprises, for retail enterprises right now. And if we will look to the crypto market and the services, like financial services provision through the internet, is also huge. So what can I say right now is I'm sure that it's reversible. I'm sure that it would not disappear at all. It would only grow, but it's difficult to predict the speed with which it's growing. But as we are speaking now with the people who are somehow working in the IT market, I would say that it's definitely the area which deserve a lot of attention, because the services for building, supporting, designing, like services around the centralized system built would rapidly grow. And if you can currently look at the market of the applications and fragmentation of the current market of various services on top of the decentralized systems, you would be amazed. You would be amazed with the amount of the interesting solutions and with the possibilities basically to work. And also with the diversity of the skills which are in demand on this market. So the current state is, yes, you can use that. Probably you will notice some usability issues, probably not, but it might be. And probably it would be difficult for you to choose what to use, because the variety of the offers is shocking. But it's a good thing, right? We are not choosing this from social media, which is only Facebook, and from the search engine, which is only Google. So I believe that it's moving in the right direction. And here for you, if you would be looking of what are those services which I can use, for you the nice slide where we do have the traditional internet services and examples. And please forgive me, I didn't put the names of the applications, but I'm pretty sure that the search by picture will help you. And you can find the examples on every layer of the traditional services. News providers, search providers, social networks, file share, messaging. Try to look at that. Try to at least familiarize yourself and be proud that you are using Web3 based services. And we are moving to NFT topic. And moving to that from the, I will start that from the very strange angle. And I will ask you about the property rights. And probably from your history lessons, and again, remember the lesson was tailored for the students who should still remember their history lessons. And basically the real freedom appeared to be in this world when you have a right to be owner of something. And when this ownership is like outside of the questions. Because when you get something which you think you're owner, but one day you cannot prove that, or there is no way to enforce your own rights, where somebody can just take your ownership or destroy the data somewhere and say that, for example, house is their house or the piece of earth is their piece of earth. Like that's the situation when there is no freedom. The freedom is basically associated with the property rights. And I do believe that we have a quotation on that on the next slide. Yes. And George Washington said a very wise words about the freedom and the property rights. And you're probably guessing why this lady on my screen is telling me on like Web3 and NFT lecture about the property rights. And well, I love the comments. Like for me, they were blinking, but I love the comments, guys. And I love the fact that I catch your attention. But we are speaking about the digital world now. The digital world, which is internet. And all our property, digital property, is stored over the internet. And we are going to speak about the property rights on digital things. And I'm claiming that the NFT definition and NFT concept, that's the concept of establishing the property rights over the digital environment, over the digital world. And first of all, let's remind ourselves what is digital real estate. And again, there are various generations of the internet. There are various applications which reside on various generations, but we are speaking about email addresses, web domains, blogs, social media handles, mobile applications, virtual parcels, digital currency, and again, NFTs. And well, there are more. Those are like undoubtful and like in top of your mind. So think longer probably about the what can be claimed. Also pieces of the content, right? Pieces of the graphics, which you can claim your ownership. And so far, for example, when we are speaking about the pictures, the proof of ownership was when we are speaking about the photographs is the real record, the first record and embedded information from the camera, which proves that the image is yours, which is not that easy to obtain. And again, with the graphic pieces created by you in a certain editors, that's even more difficult. And still, you need a chance, like you need, say not a chance, you need a way to prove that it's yours. The same with the created content. The people who ever worked in the content market, they know, like, well, probably like creating articles or creating the courses in internet, you know how difficult that to protect from privacy, yes? And we are speaking about NFTs, which are non-fungible tokens. And remember, we were talking about the cryptocurrency, which are fungible tokens, and where all the tokens of where they're fungible, when they're currency, they're all the same. There's no difference between one Ether and another Ether. There's no difference between one Bitcoin and another Bitcoin, one money, another money. They all are the same. You just paid with that, and they can be divided. But when we're speaking about NFTs, they're unique. They divided by collection, so they can be like they can be type because there's a collection name. And within the collection, all the elements of this collection are unique. They also can have other characteristics. They can have different rarity. They can be more rare, less rare, and there's like but they inherit the very important quality of the blockchain network, because they store it in blockchain, is immutability, which means that if everything is minted as NFT, it's stored in a decentralized network and it has an owner. And there is evidence of the network that a certain person or certain account is an owner of this NFT. And then, like, a lot of people think about NFT as a digital collectibles. Like, it's the picture, I'm the owner of this picture. That's the piece of music, I'm the owner of this piece of music. I'm urging you to think about that as a stamp of the ownership, where you can have either hash, either link to the content, either somehow tokenized something digital, where that's stored in a decentralized network and where your ownership is stored. Which means that NFT helps us to establish digital rights in the digital world. And they are adaptable. There's an evidence of the network there. And you can provide always the proof because you have NFT in your wallet and you can demonstrate that you are the owner of this thing. But even more, you can sell it. Or you can sell part of that because there are fractional NFTs. Which means that we really, by NFT-wizing things, by connecting the digital thing with the identifier, like with the price and with the owner, we are establishing that as a property, somebody's property. And also NFT can have extra parameters associated to that. We call that utility parameters, which means for IT people, from another point of view, NFT can serve as an integration media. And we can see the pattern, like the new pattern of integrating applications, integrating decentralized, integrating Web3 applications, where we do have the components of the application which are not physically connected to each other, which are connecting, like which not having, direct APIs, synchronous APIs, even asynchronous media, like where the applications reside in the internet independently, but needs to be integrated with each other. And here we have the pattern of self-sovereign data, where the users of the applications are having wallet, where they store NFT tokens with the certain parameters. And when it's necessary to log in, or where there is a time to provide those parameters, application just requesting those from the wallet and say, okay, identify yourself. And you can use NFT to identify yourself, or you can use the wallet address to identify yourself. And after that, the data which is stored in your wallet locally, not in any system, you own this data, but you demonstrate that. An application uses that to profile your access, using that as your personalization parameters, using that as to provide you access to the certain things. And therefore, we have self-sovereign data. So I do hope, do we have any questions of the concept? Because that's not easy concept. And I've been discussing two topics. One is establishing the ownership, undoubtful ownership in a digital world. Another one is seamless integration with the data stored at the client. Are you with me? Can you do some sign? So I see that the majority of the people kind of following. Good. Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys. Then we are proceeding. I slightly increased the level of the complexity looking to the audience, but some basic things are also needs to be told. So very basic practicalities. NFTs are the same tokens. They're just unique in the collections, and there are other specific marketplaces in internet. That's another services where you can sell your NFTs. Where you can look. There are a lot of services developed already where you can demonstrate your NFTs. And in some cases, it's necessary for the marketing purposes. In some cases, that's necessary for authentication purposes, because you can imagine, like with this self-sovereign data pattern, you can also have identity in the form of NFT and various identity parameters there. And all the tickets, all the accesses can be stored as NFTs. And also the same way they can be stored in the devices too. At EPAM, we were doing the proof of concept where the car was enabled with the cryptocurrency wallet, and was demonstrating NFT at the garage gate, just opening the beam at the garage, because the beam just was ready. By the way, you have something, and the car was demonstrating the NFT from its wallet, and that was the seamless. I mean, that's like the transponder, but on a basis of the NFT technology. So from like some curiosity point of view, anyone can create NFT collection, NFT within that. Normally, NFTs are based on a certain blockchain network. So you are minting those tokens in a certain network. And that can be Ethereum, it can be Polygon, which is layer 2 on Ethereum, it can be Near, which is a separate blockchain network. And there are a lot of ways, like there's Solana, there are a lot of ways to create your own NFTs. And nowadays, a lot of designers, a lot of content creators are using that. And there are already a lot of decentralized services for content creators to register their creations. You can create your own collection, put your own NFTs, but you can also, if you want to become a part of the certain community of the content creators, they already started to offer those services of basically registering your user rights in a form of NFT. And well, if you would be interested, I don't believe that I have the slide in this deck, but we were making the collection for the content creators, basically informing them where they can be text, where they can be music, where they can be templates, like PowerPoint templates, and where they can be just graphics. So moving a little bit further. With the unique tokens as NFTs, a lot of things can be done. Because you have the digital token, and for the IT people, I think your imagination has already started to work, because certainly event access channels, like particularly Discord already works with the NFTs. Physical items can be marked, and there are already quite some of the market cases where you're buying physical item, and together with the bill, you are requesting the QR code, you are reading the QR code, and your digital item, like your physical item, has the digital association, and you can use this digital twin of your physical item in some, like in Roblox and some games, in Fortnite, in other games. That depends on a collaboration which retailer or with like item vendor does. Yeah. In some cases, like by the means of NFT, you can access the unique characteristics on the ways to personalize your item using the internet connection. Some of you probably heard about some games or associated, like the investment measures, like the crypto kittens or something. There's a possibility of merging NFTs together, and it's called breeding. Basically, the owner or creator of NFTs needs to allow that. That's a special quality. And basically, we've been speaking about the cryptocurrencies. Behind each cryptocurrency, there is a smart contract. Behind each NFT, which is still cryptocurrency, it's just unique coin every time, like the collection coins. There's also contract behind them. And so the qualities of NFTs are defined by the smart contract. So we can breed, which is merge. We can either merge with the creation of something new. And there is simple merge when we use two and that's appear to be one. We can burn when we destroy one. And that's also a very powerful mechanism because that increases the capitalization. That's that's how we fight with inflation. Uh, there's a possibility to distribute NFTs, and that's called airdrops, and that's like the distribution over the big amount of the users. I've mentioned already the fractional ownership, where the one digital item can be divided to the parts, and the collection of NFTs can be associated with one digital item where every part like of the collection, every NFT represents just the defined and unique piece of this one big digital thing. And there is a possibility also to put NFTs in a world, basically it's called staking. So where you lend your NFT for a certain period of time, and that's the mechanism to do some, like to acquire some financial incentives. And that's, again, top of the iceberg. And every day there are people who are inventing new and new mechanisms to use NFT, because at the end, that's just a record in a mutable database, which connects set of the parameters, probably linked to somewhere, and the parameters can be of the various types, price and owner. Simple concept, but being stored on a decentralized network and being publicly accessible and creates a lot of possibilities. And behind that is a smart contract, so you can add features to the smart contract. That's for you, for the home, like, education. And that basically shows you the examples. Again, that's not complete. Every day that's appeared to be something new, and we will not have enough screen space to put all the possible use cases where NFT can be used. But some core ones, some main ones to boost your creativity are here. So like when it's cyan color, that speaks about the generic use case, and associated to that, those are the examples. So you can have the real names and you can go and check those in internet. Yes, guys, we have a lot of blockchain projects done by EPAM, and the people who work for EPAM can go to the pre-sales and look to the set of the credentials, can go to KB, search for the blockchain practice and read a lot there. I mean, we have a lot and we do a lot, but let me stick to the topic. As any things which was recently developed, there is still a room for improvement. And there are quite some of the, like the market is getting there. And we had certain boosts where this concept just arose. We had like the high boost and NFT technology, and there was a high demand for NFTs, and there were like a lot of millions spent on a certain NFTs. And well, that's actually was associated to the novelty of the technology and to the quite advanced guys who used NFTs for the matter of not paying taxes or converting money to avoiding taxes, because well, basically NFTs still can be regarded as the digital object, which can be bought, can be sold, and nobody can prove what is the real price of the certain digital collectibles. If you can explain if you can explain that this picture of my favorite cat cost $2.5 million because I so love this cat, that's probably the explanation how how you get this much money. But currently, all this strange boom of the strange prices, actually not really well explanatory, is already over. Currently, we are in much more stable market. A lot of people complain that the market is low, but using NFTs, not as a collectibles and not as a matter of the speculation or the financial mechanism to fool the government, it's the way. You can use that as a part of the technology stack. You can use that as a part of like, let's see, as a pattern to increase your technology capabilities, to increase the architecture, like to improve the architecture decisions made while creating IT systems. NFT brings you the really new qualities and new patterns not possible before. And that's just enlarge that your pattern, your architecture patterns. It's just enlarge your possibilities. And that's the way to go. And again, this will only grow. And we do see quite some, like, I mean, tokenized loyalty. That's the one where like people were asking if we have projects at EPAM. Yes, we have projects with tokenized loyalty. And yes, we were doing the NFT marketplaces. Yes, we were doing tickets to the events using NFTs. So all of this is a reality. And every time when we are advising the clients or when we are building the architecture using the NFT, we were thinking not about the financial benefits and how to get rich. We are thinking about the technical way to do certain things effectively and cheap. And then the last topic, the metaverse. And I must say that if I would be like, if I will live in vacuum and not without those media, I probably wouldn't touch the metaverse topic together with Web3 and NFT. Basically, Web3 explains you how the new internet stack works. NFT gives you the necessary insights about the very important mechanisms of this new stack and speaks about the new capabilities, new technology capabilities, which you can achieve in this new technology stack. But thanks to mass media, those two topics are always connected with metaverse. And a lot of people are constantly asking about this, by the way, the metaverse. So I have to stop there and clarify, first of all, what is it and why people are connecting those to Web3 and NFT. And what you see on the screen, you see the picture which explains you evolution of the user interface. And here we are speaking about a presentation layer. And yes, initially we had the strange devices, no, even without the buttons or with the very strange and big buttons. And later on, that's proceeded to the much better interfaces, and the people who were working with the MS-DOS and when moved to the Windows operation system, they could say that it was the amazing change. And then mobile devices. And then the mobile devices, like they also progressed tremendously. Like I remember this feeling when I was holding the first Nokia in my hands, and it was like this, you know, this incredible feeling that I can call out of the street, not from the house and from big like the wired phone, but I can call somebody from like being outside, being in a forest. And when I forgot something, I can easily connect person and not the space. Because like well, initially phone devices, they were connecting, you know, rooms, houses, and not the people. And with the mobile devices, the first like paradigm shift was we connecting people to each other. And then we started to put the applications in those mobile devices. And here I see that the majority of the people there are from probably Europe and US. And guys, you cannot imagine for what the people in Asia are using mobile phones. Literally for everything. Opening the apartments, paying for everything, managing kids, everything. And that's the reality right now. And you also know that currently your smartphones, they have, you know, this buzzing feature, they have the gestures, and you can wave your mobile phone to do something. People who are up to gaming also know that there are quite some of the devices which gives you the back reaction, which helps you, which records your movements and transfer those movements to the certain application response. And we call that immersive. And also, you know that the recent development of the user interface is artificial reality, 3D worlds, and acting there as you're acting in the real world by the matters of those immersive tools and immersive devices. And well, I needed for you to realize this basis before we are stepping in a metaverse topic, because the metaverse, how we define it and how we used to speak about that, that's the set, and I would say that's the connected multiple 3D worlds in a digital space. That's why that's metaverses. And that means that the gaming spaces, and there are like many gaming spaces, and you can think about Minecraft, Fortnite, Roblox, any other like Axie Infinity, whatever. Every time when there is a certain world or real created out of like the 3D spaces, can be 2D spaces, can be semi 3D spaces, and with the users connecting there. And when those worlds started to be connected to each other, that's metaverse. And that's basically the new generation of the user interface. So from a technology point of view, not from this mass media boom and whatever, but from a technology point of view, that's the connected new network of the three-dimensional and user interfaces called metaverse. And it can be used, like, I mean, as the new generation of the user interface, it can be used for various purposes. Basically, attract users, sell services, provide various services using this specific user interface. Gaming, the same social media, concerts, distributing distributing media, distributing information, lectures, learning. There are endless amount of the use cases. Basically, any application now can have this type of the immersive interface and will benefit of being connected with other applications. So it would be beneficial to be a part of the metaverse. So when we set some definitions, then we can proceed of why the heck those those fancy user interfaces connected to the Web3 and NFT. And that's kind of simple, guys. While it's a user interface, you will need to reach it somehow. And remember, I was speaking about the NFT, which is easy way to authenticate somebody. And nowadays, the authentication matters and also matters of bringing objects, integration matters from one digital realm to another digital realm are done by using NFT technology. Also, the qualities of the virtual persons or your representations or some other representations or some other objects they also can be very easily and very effectively done using NFT technology. That's why like NFT technology is one of the most important technologies for implementing metaverse if we are not speaking about a graphical representation. But we are using the word metaverse, means connected worlds, and a connection is normally done using NFT technology. And why that's the vital part of the Web3? Because the modern internet needs the modern user interface. And here, those two are nicely matching together. And remember, I was telling you that the majority or like huge amount of the Web3 users are like gamers. That also brings you certain explanation why the word Web3 and the metaverse are very frequently used together. So I do believe that I sufficiently covered all those three topics, and you guys have now a better understanding about all of this and why we are speaking about this now, and how like from the form, like from the position of the IT professional, how to look at that and how to develop your skills. And we will have some slides for people who wants to develop yourself. Like there's one slide for the users, for people who want to use technology, create NFT, update NFT, exchange NFT, look at the others, something for the content users also. And we also have slide for developers who want to develop yourself in this wonderful world. There are a lot of free training materials. There are a lot of information sites, and some of them we are sharing with you, so you have some ways to do the self-study. And now, with this, I will pause talking and we'll look what questions we have. We should have a lot. So I will try to find out. And here, Tatiana, probably you can help me because there were discussions there and there were questions there. I need to find out which questions are still not answered. And so I can elaborate on that.
Sure, I just check. Oh, there are a lot of comments here. Thank you so much for your comments, guys. So the topic is interesting, I believe.
Okay, I think I answered to Roman about other projects. Well, yes, we helped NIR and we actually significantly helped NIR to develop NFT protocol. And we also developed the first examples of the NFT protocol usage. There were CryptoCorgis, there's also Mintgate, which was the marketplace. So but we have more projects. We currently developing the tokenized loyalty for one of the fashion, like the big fashion brands. And we were consulting a lot in this area. And we do have we built one of the Asian NFT marketplaces for gamers with all the digital collectibles and with the possibility to spin off there. That's actually a white label NFT marketplace. That's not only one marketplace, that's where the gaming organizations can come to the website and basically create the NFT marketplace for them. We also had some proof of concepts done by the clients around the digital identity, also with the NFTs used. So I think, yeah, and we have many more projects which are in a blockchain space. That's not only NFT, not only the marketplaces, and also at EPAM. I don't know how much that's interesting for the students. We do have products. We are not only a service company, we also, at least on the blockchain, EPAM blockchain practice, we do have products. So we have our own NFT engine. And that has been already used, for example, for Adidas to issue some of their NFTs. And they were more about to praise the employees. And Liberty Global we're using, and a lot of internally and externally, we used a lot our NFT engine to create NFTs. For example, the participants on our blockchain professionals community, the participants of the events of the blockchain professionals community, they used to receive NFTs as a gifts, as the like to prize their participation in certain events. That's we are doing easily. So we do have product. We do have the hosted version of our NFT engine we are using internally to basically praise certain employees' contribution. And we are also providing this service to quite some of our clients because when they don't have their own possibilities or they don't want to bother themselves, they're just coming to us, asking us to mint them the certain collection. Do we have more questions?
Thank you, Alexandra. No questions, just communication and
Oh,
discussion.
I can see. How do you see
question.
Web3 technologies being applied to super apps? What are the super apps? What do you mean by this? We have person.
Yeah, maybe you just unmute yourself and ask your question. Could you?
Yes.
What they use in China? Is that?
What they use in China for, like in China, like how much I know the situation in China. In China, the word cryptocurrencies is like totally banned. We cannot use the word cryptocurrency. We cannot use the cryptocurrency. There are a lot of issues with the certifying those applications, but NFTs are used a lot because apparently for the China government, NFTs are not cryptocurrency. And there are a lot of usages in NFTs. For example, like I live in Hong Kong, which is part of China, and my mobile provider is actually have a tendency to prize me with the NFTs for certain actions in their mobile management application. So I manage all my connections, means like my 5G connection, my home internet, something else. And they do have this Metaverse. Yes, I have the Metaverse application connected to my mobile provider, and that's China Mobile. And there for the certain actions, basically, that's kind of loyalty. They want me to come more frequently to this application and to see more services. And those are the connected services. That's the beauty of Web3. My linked application that's connected to a lot of service providers, including, buying coffee in the shopping malls and the vouchers in the shopping malls for the certain brands. And to be active in these applications, they praise me with the NFTs, which I can use to get the discounts, like vouchers, to get an access, to go to some virtual events. And that's heavily used. And I do understand that there's a difference between mainland China and Hong Kong. But as far as I know, there are a lot of like also NFTs to be used in Alibaba applications and in WeChat too. Yes, Michael. In WeChat, there are the possibilities, and I believe that there is already, the platform feature, because a lot of WeChat shop owners are now started to use NFTs too. Yes, that's exactly which I've been explaining to you guys. Like while we were discussing now the super applications. Yes, WeChat, Taobao, Line, which is I think Japanese provider of the social media. They use NFT technology in a majority to provision their business customers the possibility, like the marketing possibilities and loyalty management possibilities towards the end users. For now, that's in a majority like this, but probably because we do not see what are the underlying integrations. Probably because, as I said, the NFT is a very valuable mechanism for application integration. Probably it's used there, but unfortunately, none of the mentions are our clients, so I cannot say you what is underneath. I see the user, like user targeted user stories. And here I see a lot of loyalty. I see some of the gamification where that's used as a media of integration or as a financial media where we are staking NFTs, and access to the virtual events, access to the specific collections, to the specific shopping options, and also identity where the access to the certain shops and referrals are coded as NFTs. Well, the good question. There are initiatives, and again, guys, remember that's the university lecture, and you are asking internally PAM questions. I guess the university students, it can be interesting, like too. But yes, we do have as a POC the internal developed system which called EPAM coin, and here that's fungible token. We are thinking about migrating our here system to NFT, and but it's still not. But still, the heroes badges are the badges, and for the students, those are the system where we're giving perks, where we are praising and demonstrating our, where we're saying thank you to a colleague to colleague, a capability to the colleague or something, by sending them, badges, graphical things. And the problem with this system is that's valuable only within EPAM. When I'm outside EPAM, I cannot say my achievements and how much did I do for my company. There's no way unless a screenshot. And we've been thinking, and basically our NFT engine, an example, the community participation, which we are praising, and the community contribution, which we are praising with the real NFTs minted in a public network we are currently using at EPAM. That's much more powerful mechanism, because the people who are having that, they're having that in their MetaMask wallets, and they demonstrate that's outside of the EPAM environment, saying, look, I'm active community contributor. And look, I did so many presentations or something, or I wrote, like I participated in a hackathon, I won those prizes, and you can demonstrate that out of the monopolistic environment. And yes, we do have that, and we do have our EPAM Cauldron engine, and we're using that, but we're thinking about more and more use those technologies inside our company for like human resources purposes, for like, performance management purposes, for all of this, like, yes. And yes, like when you're asking about the financial incentivization, for that, the system with the fungible token is developed. I guess I answered the question. We have another 10 minutes for more questions. I was speaking about the NFT topic almost last, so nobody is asking about Web3. No questions? When I'm afraid, I will let people go. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for a lot of questions and a lot of discussions. If you need me to elaborate on something in a discussion, because I believe that there were quite some of the good discussion between people, and that's sufficiently covered. But if you need my attention somewhere there, type that, because this meeting chat, it will stay with us. I can read it later on, and I can also answer that, and at least the people within EPAM would be able to see that. I'm not sure about the university students, but for those, your curators would be able to share that with you later on. And the presentation would be distributed. Tatiana probably will tell us how. I will just send it to her. And the recording also, I think, would be distributed. And if you have some questions and if you would like to return to the materials, you can do so.
Yes, thank you, Sasha. The recording will be available tomorrow, I guess, for students. For our other participants, I believe it will be available on the community portal. So you will have an opportunity to watch it again and ask you questions.
Thank you, guys. If you are still not a part of our blockchain professionals community, join us on our community platform. Because well, we do have regular presentations like this, and especially for the students, guys, if you will join us, and I will type the link now in the chat. Besides your usual studying activities, you would be able to access all our community materials because everything is recorded, and you can enjoy a lot of like free and useful materials. But also, almost every 2 weeks, we have new and new content, and I must say that it's very quality content. And that's not only provisioned by EPAM, because it's a community, it's a global community, and there are a lot of presenters from the like globally are coming to us to present. We have the wonderful series of the DeFi topics presented to the very wise guy from India. And I'm urging a lot of you to just to watch that and to understand the basic DeFi mechanisms. We have quite some about the decentralized voting there. So join the community, stay with us, and learn with us more. And we have Telegram channels, so people who have questions about a certain implementations, about a certain technology, about anything, I mean, non-EPAM internal things, but about the blockchain technology, Web3 technology, blockchain professionals community has Telegram channel. And this Telegram channel is even like it has national languages for people who are much more comfortable to speak in Russian, Ukrainian, Chinese, Spanish. You can connect there and choose sub channel and use not only English and to find colleagues, not colleagues, like-minded people and meet with them. So
That's great. Thank you. Thank you, Sasha.
have a good evening and enjoy. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.